Hi everyone, my name is Akinro Samuel, and I welcome you to this tutorial, which is the first tutorial in the series of machine learning with Python. And in this video, we're going to talk about the basics of Python and also put us through the process of installation of Python using Anaconda. And I hope we will go through and watch this video to the end, because this is one of the best video you ever see out there, because we're going to start Python basically from scratch, start machine learning basically from scratch. And these are the things, the Python programs and the Python codes that you need to kickstart your career in machine learning and engineering. So before that, we're going to go through some basics of Python. Here we have it here saying, in this video we will discuss about various data types in Python, the variables we have and the variables assignments, then the print formatting, and also we talk about some libraries too. So although before we continue that, I would like us to go through installation of Python. So here we'll come to your Google search engine, then you type anaconda.com. So you type anaconda.com. Here we are. So let's get started. Okay. So from there, let's look at Anaconda, download Anaconda installer. Here we are. So I think we can see this is Anaconda installer. We can see we have it for different versions. We have this for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. So I'm using the Windows. I'm using Windows. I'm using Windows 10. So here we are, 64-bit. If your graphic installer is 64-bit, you make use of that. You download that. If yours is 32, you make use of that too. So after downloading, although I've already downloaded it on my PC, it's on my PC. So you come after downloading, go through all the process of downloading and install it on your system. So you come here and you see something like this. You see something like this. Come here, type Anaconda. So here you can see your Anaconda prompt. And also, because we are making use of Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Notebook is one of the editor that is very, very okay, at least most especially if you are new in Python programming. So you learn a lot by using Jupyter. Will tell us some certain ways you use in getting your codes, and easy way to bypass some certain things. I would let you know. So you automatically you have your Jupyter Notebook installed, and here it is. So you come here and run it. You run your Jupyter Notebook. You see something like this. So from there, you'll be able to come up with so automatically you run it. So let's see what we have here. It takes a while before it pops up. So once it comes up now, automatically it will direct you to your browser where you have your notebook. I don't know why this is not coming up. Okay, let me try again. Okay, so once it comes up now, we're going to, yes, so it's up and running. So automatically it will direct me to my default browser. For here now I'm making use of Edge, so it will direct me to the, automatically opens it up for me. Then after that, it will bring a dashboard, something like this. Yeah, so we have it here now. So here we have, yes, so this is it. So it will bring something like this. It will bring something like this for you. So the only thing is, you open a folder, open a new folder, then you start you create your environment, and you're good to go. So although you can actually, you just have to try it on your own, and you see the process of installation. So now here we are. Let's move to what we have for today. We want to start with the basics of Python, little things that you need to know about Python. But before that, here we are on the Jupyter Notebook dashboard. Here you have your files where you can create new notebook, or you can open, you can save as, you can see your revert to checkpoint, you can see your print review. You want to download it as HTML or any other, it's something that is very interesting. So far you are used to PC, you are good to go. You see how to cut cell, copy cell, or delete cells. Also, although the shortcuts, you have the shortcuts too there. If you want to make use of your toggle header, your toggle toolbar, or insert cells above or below, you want to run the cell. Although these are the things that are shortcuts. Then most especially, whenever you are making use of your Jupyter or making use of Python, you make use of kernel. It is very, very important. Here it is. So automatically it will install on your Jupyter notebook. Then you have your widgets, and it's telling me that it is trusted. So because JavaScript enables for notebook what display. So I think with that we are good to go. Then let's look at the basis of Python. We said in this video we'll discuss about various data types in Python. We talk about the variables, variable assignments, and print formatting, as I've told us the other time. Now let's look at various types of Python. Let's look at the data types, or let's do with numbers itself. You can see here we have 1 plus 1. It gives us 2. Automatically we are having, and one of the major advantage of Jupyter Notebook is the moment you can see this is in and out. The moment you type 1 plus 1, type something, or probably feed it with an information, you get your output instantly under it in the next column. You can see here. So that's one of the major advantage of Jupyter, using Jupyter Notebook for beginners. Mostly I will employ beginners to use Jupyter Notebook because it is one of the easiest. You can see here now we're saying 4 multiplied by 5, it gives us 20. The next column we are saying 2 multiplied by 10, it gave us this 20. 10 divided by 2, you have 5. Then also 10. Now this double multiplication hub, or double asterisk, I would say, 2 means 10 raised to power 2. which is what, 100. Then here we have 10 modulus 2 is 0. Then we have, now here is another interesting thing. Now here you can see you have 10 asterisk, or let's say you want to do it in form of string. Here we have, let me do something like this. You have 10 raised to power, that means let me use my name. Let's put it in use a string and see how it will work with a string. Now here we try to run it. You can see what it's giving me. It's giving me Akinro Samuel 10 times, like it's multiplied 10 times. Here you see Akinro Samuel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Although the way it's explicit, but what I'm trying to show us is here it repeats it 10 good times. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. It repeats it 10 times, and that is in case you want to have you have something maybe along the line when we are trying to run some programs. This is a way you actually multiply your strings. So now let's now look at some certain things. Now we want to look at the types of data we have, like this number. Now here we want to look at the type of 1. You can see here we said type 1 is what? Is an integer. So you run it, you see it is an integer. Now take it for example. Now I'm coming here and saying, okay, type 10, let me run it. It gives me integer. But what if I come and say, okay, dot 0, and you run it again, it gives me a float. You can see the difference between an integer and a float. So a float is something, it's always in 0.00 and all that. So we have here, it is a string. You can see an example of a string. A string is always in those 1 column or double column, and the same thing here. Now let's take for example, because this is one of the mistakes many of us, you can see here. Now we're having a boolean here, and we want to start, you want to have a boolean. If let's say for example I use true, and the true I'm using small letter, I run it, it's giving me the name true is not defined. But what if I come here and say, okay, here it is, let me put it in a column. Let me put it in a column. It gave me a string. But what if I come and say, okay, here it is, let me write a true boolean, because normally your true boolean or false will always start with capital letter. Please let us note that, because there are some you might write it to give you error. So here it is, you have type true. What if I try to use false and say this? Here you can see it's also a boolean. So true or false are what? Are booleans. Now let's now come back to strings. So let's take it one by one. Let's take it one. And now another thing I want us to know here is, you can see they are trying to tell us, before you can be able to make use of this function, this type function, you can see the init signature type. You must have something like a self argument or keyword argument. So what it means, I will let us know as the tutorial is going. So now let's look at string here. Here we have hello, or let me write hello world and run it. You can see it repeats what? Hello world. Also, these are the way string works. I think you understand, these are the way string works. Now let's look to assign some variables. Let's look to assign some variables. Now let's look at this syntax. Then variable underscore name is equal to values. So let's look at let's assign variable a. Let's assign 10 to it, to a, and let's type what a is. You can see it's giving us integer, but it's giving us that a is what? An integer. Are you getting me? And if you look at 10 now, here when we did this here, we did something like this here. Okay, now you see we did 1. You can see the difference between an integer and a float. When I type 1, type 10 here, it gave me that it's an integer. But when I say type the type of 10.0, it gave me as float. So please let us note that it is very important. So I assigned 10 to a, then I now type a, it gave me that is an integer. What if I say okay, type a is equal to my name Akinru Samuel, which is a string? So when I type a, it gives me that it is a what? A string. So now let's try and then look at some mathematical operation with using a variable assignment. Here we assign a to be what? 10, b to be what? To be 20. We now said okay, here print a times b. You said it should print b times a. Let me print a divided by b. So here we have b divided by a, then print a percentile b, modulus b, then print a. You know, here is being encoded with brackets. You can see a multiplied by b plus a divided by b. Then let's see what we have. Normally, if you use these variables that we assigned, if you use it, do it normally mathematically, you're still going to get the same value. So let's try to run this. Oh, there's a problem. What's wrong? Let me see. It says our a is not defined. What could be the problem? Okay, yeah. So we've actually not run the a. So let's try to run it. You see, it gives us it gave us the answer. It didn't give us error because, and that is it. Most of the time when you run your your code, I have it and you want to go back to it to start working on it again, you have to run those programs again. You don't have to type it again. The only thing is just like the way I did it now. You come here, you run it, just press your shift enter. If you press shift enter, you're going to run it, and from here you run it again. Then you have your program run. So you can see a multiplied by b will give us 200. Then a divided by b will give us 0.5. Then b divided by a will give us 2.0. Then a percentile b modulus b gave us 10. Then we have this, gave us 200.5. So also let's look at the various ways of printing. Now I want to show us something, please. Now if you want to look at, sometimes if you have some certain function or some certain functions you want to call. some certain functions, specific functions. You can just come like let me like this print function now. Let me press Shift Tab. You can see it gave me how you're going to use it. Very easy. It said print the value to a string or to what? To a system dot s standard by default. System standard by default. You can see here you have print into brackets. You have your value. You can have or you can be in front of a separate value. Each it's you can assign it set equals to something like this, you know, or you can use this end /n. It's also you know, you are ending a line to move to the next line. So different things you can. This is a way whereby you can. Is either you use it here. Now we are actually calling a string. So we said print hello world. After printing, giving an instruction of printing hello world, we have what? Our hello world there. So also let's try to look at another way of let's try to assign a particular variable in another way. Now look here. This is, it says first name is equal to Samuel, last name is equal to Akiru. Are you with me? And now say okay, let's run this. You know, right? Okay. My name is so. My name is. You can see this parenthesis here, and last name is. You can see another parenthesis. Now, after writing that, you have to write the format at which you want it to be. That is very, very important. You can see the format here. Format will be what? Your first name. You can see format your first name. What is our first name? We've already assigned first name as Samuel. Are you seeing that? Then we've assigned last name as what? As Akinru. So if you try to run this program, let's see what you have. You have my name is Samuel and the last name is Akinru. You can see the program you run. Now, what if we try to change it and say, okay, here is the last underscore name, then here you have the first underscore name. I will try to run it here. You can see it switches it. Last name has come to be the first. So the first name here, which is the format we actually put it in, has switched to last name, and our last name is what? Akinru. So I'm saying my name is Akinru and my last name is what? Samuel, which is the second one I actually called, which is the first name. Now became what? My last name, and my last name became my what? My first name. You can see what we did in this situation. So let's look at another way at which you can do it again. Now you have here print. My first name is, you know, here we decide to put our values inside the parentheses. First, my first name is first and my last name is last. I'm now load the format. Our first is first name. As simple as that. You can see our first name is Samuel. So we put in first in our parentheses. We assign it here in the format section, which is first is equal to what? Our first name, and last, which is this. In our, as our what? We assigned it as our what? As our last name. So automatically we expect it after running this program to tell us wherever we have our first, it should be represented with what? Our first name. And wherever we have our last, it should be represented as what? As our last name, which is what we run here. You can see my name is Samuel and last name is what? Akinru. But what if we decide to say, okay, whatever we have last, let's say wherever we have last, should be our first name, and wherever we have first should be our what? Our last name. So let's run it. You can see it switches again. My name is Akinru. Like the way we did this, like it switches again. You can see here, like the way we have this again. So you can see these are the two ways at which you can call a functions. You can call you can assign a variable and call it and print it out using your print function. As simple as that. Also, I want to chip this in. I want to chip this in. We have this learn into bracket. You have your Samuel. You can see what this learn function means is it's counting. So you can see it's counted it. Samuel, how many letters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see, what if I say what could I try to, okay, passports. If I tell it to count passports, how many? You can see the words here. What if I said my full name, Akinru Samuel, please count that for me. You can see you have 12 letters there. So I'm gonna stop there today, and in our next video we'll talk about some certain functions we have, and also we talk about okay, we've talked about strings, we talk about our boolean, talk about our okay, we talked about integer already, talk about our strings, talk about our tuples and all that. So I would like you to subscribe to this channel, and so that in the next you can be able to see every new video we post on this channel. And I hope you understand, and if there's any question you can put it at the comment section. I would definitely answer the questions. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Have a nice day. Bye.